What's up, everyone? We're at the Cinema Center at MARBL at TIFF 2023, and I'm so excited to talk about Expats right now. Lulu, huge congratulations. I have screened episode 5, of course, and even just from one episode alone, the ambition is off the charts, and it really is something else, so huge congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I was doing my homework, and I know that initially you passed on the project. Why did you pass? And then what changed that made you think it was worth making the series commitment?
Yeah, I think I initially passed because I was just so intimidated by the scale of the project. And I really wanted to work with Nicole Kidman. I mean, she's incredible. I've been a fan of her, so many of her works. But I felt such a sense of responsibility in depicting a place like Hong Kong. And the term expats is very loaded. It comes with all of these connotations. And it's like, can I handle that? And all of the nuances that comes with depicting the world of expats and other people who are people of diaspora. And so that's why I passed.
Intimidating challenge, a challenge that you seem to have met. So talking a little bit about the journey from going from feature filmmaking to making a series like this, can you maybe isolate one particular learning curve that you had to go on while adjusting to that format, but then also maybe something about making a series that was more creatively fulfilling for you than you ever could have imagined?
Yeah, I have to say, as a writer, and I'm a classical pianist turned writer, so I've very much used to working alone and being quite lonely and developing ideas. But for this project, I had a writer's room, and that was incredible and just so nourishing for my soul to be able to work with other women and to argue and disagree, but then also come to a place where we could agree to disagree, but then tell a story through all of that. It was different, and it's completely changed the way that I look at development of stories.
I love hearing that. This is going to sound like a weird out of left field question, but because I'm at TIFF and I'm seeing a million things, some of the themes bleed together. And I was just covering Gonzo Girl, and they have a character in that movie that is dealing with loving and hating the confines of his own earlier success. And of course, we know you very well for The Farewell. So it was making me wonder, can you maybe give me one misconception about what it means to have a hit feature and then move on to your next project, but then also something about the success of The Farewell that helped you make Expats and make it your way?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting The Farewell to reach as many people as it did. And, I think there's always fears of there being lots of expectations. And then, can I only do this one thing it was so personal. It was really based on my own life, and I'm very autobiographical. And so how do I tell other stories that are still personal, even though they are not autobiographical? And so those were some of the questions that I was asking. And after, promoting a movie, you still have to go and face a blank page. And that's why I was so grateful for the writer's room to have this safe space that really felt like therapy.
All right, I have to go back to Nicole Kidman now because, of course, she's been involved with the project since the very beginning. She is also a star of the series as well. How does it change your dynamic with one of your actors when they're involved to that extent, in addition to just playing a main role? I should take out the word just, in addition to playing a main role.
Yeah, I think that it wouldn't have been made without her. And that is the fact of it, because we had my entire team, my collaborators from The Farewell came onto this project, and we had done a very small $3 million feature about my grandmother. And to board something of this scope and size and budget, it was incredible that she believed in my vision enough to help make sure that I was supported by the studio, and they did, and I just couldn't believe it.
I know making this your way was very important to you, and important to you making the decision to commit. Having gone through this process and gotten that, what is something you would recommend for another filmmaker seeking the same thing, seeking that same support from a major company and also the producers and other people around them?
Yeah, I think it's just really important to remember your voice and that you're there for a reason. You know, so oftentimes you get brought onto a project because people want you and they've seen the work that you've done. And then when you're in the middle of that, you know, it's important to remind yourself of that. Like, you know, the thing that you did before is what got you here. And so you have to keep doing that. And don't let your fear or your being intimidated, as I was, change your process and make you think that you need to do it like other filmmakers before you. You know, you can always find your way and carve your own space and have your own process and your own team within this industry.
It's breaking my heart. I have to let you go in a minute, but I wanted to make sure to squeeze in 2 more questions. One, why bring episode 5 to TIFF in particular? And did you ever consider screening the pilot instead?
You know, the first thing that I said when I was talking to the studio about this project was I am really honored to do this series, but the only way that I'll do it is if I can make this episode 5. And it's the first thing that I want people to see, and I would like to screen it at festivals. I mean, that was really like my entryway in, because for me, growing up in America as a Chinese immigrant, that is a big part of my identity. And even though I went back to Hong Kong as an American expat, which is a very different identity, I wanted there to be 2 doors into this world. And it's just been such an honor to have audiences at TIFF enter this other door first.
I like the sound of that. Now I have to let you go. I'm going to ask one more question though, because I was reading another interview where you mentioned something to the effect of, you know, always wanting to find your voice, even though you didn't think you were going to go the series path. You wanted to do it to hone your voice in the industry further. So now, having made a series and come out the other side, what did you learn about your storytelling voice via that process?
Yeah, I do have to say, you know, I had a lot of imposter syndrome because I believe that artists are made through their body of work. My mother used to always say to me, you know, if you're 20 years old and you write the greatest poems in the world, not sure if you're a poet, you know, but if you're in your 60s and you've written poetry your entire life, even if, you know, you don't have the biggest fan group and you're not published, you are a poet. And that always stuck with me. And so I think that having made Expats now, which is 6 movies, and having been on set for, you know, 10 times the amount of days almost that The Farewell was shot in, I definitely do feel a little bit more like a director.
I hate that I have to let you go. A short and sweet interview does not do this production justice. We did not get to talk about your incredible ensemble beyond Nicole. It is really something else. Huge congratulations, and I hope you enjoy celebrating Expats at TIFF.
Thank you so much. Thank you.